Hi, my name is Schuyler O'Brien. I'm one of the chef instructors here at the Kemmons Culinary Institute. What we're going to run through today is a breakfast basics cookery course for our HPRM 2012 class. Today we're going to be making a basic pancakes with a little bit of bananas folded in and then an orange blueberry syrup on top. We're going to be doing a potato, jalapeno, and spinach hash, and we're going to do a quick fried egg to go on top. So here we go. Alright guys, so what I have here, I've already meased out all of the ingredients. So mise en place is very important, so that just means that we have everything that we need to perform the task at hand already out, ready for us, so we're not having to run off and grab different stuff throughout the process. So what we're going to start now is our pancake recipe. So I've got our all-purpose flour here. We're going to add our granulated sugar, a bit of kosher salt, baking powder. Got a whisk down here, and we're going to give our dry just a little bit of incorporation so we don't get any lumps that have more baking powder than others or more salt than others. All right. To that, we're going to add one whole egg. We're just going to kind of break the yolk up just a little bit. Add that guy in. We're going to add our whole milk. We're going to add a little bit of vanilla and just a touch of canola oil. We're going to incorporate this batter here. We don't want to mix it too much, but we do want to try to get most of the lumps out. All right. Good to go there. And what we're going to do, we're going to set this aside and let that batter hydrate. As it hydrates, it'll thicken up a little bit more. Let it sit probably about 10-15 minutes before we actually cook it. And we're actually going to mix in some bananas right before we do that. What we're going to get started now is the blueberry orange syrup. We're going to take a small saucepan. We're going to add our blueberries. We're going to add a bit of sugar. We're going to add a little bit of water just to get allow those blueberries to kind of start breaking down and the juices starting to flow. We're going to put that on about medium heat to get going. And while that's going, we are going to start our potato hash. All right, so for our potato hash, we've got about 3 strips of bacon that we just sliced up. We have a bit of Idaho potato done in a nice small dice. Have some nice sweet onion, a little bit of chopped spinach and rosemary. Have some jalapeno that's been de-seeded and chopped finely. A little bit of tomatoes, some Parmesan, and a touch of white balsamic vinegar. All right, so we're going to start bacon. And get that going in the pan. And as we're standing here, we can cook it a little bit hot and fast. Typically, we want to cook this on a little bit lower heat, but since we're here babysitting it, we're good to go. And as you can see here, our blueberry syrup is coming out real nice. Berries are starting to break down, starting to get a little more viscous in texture, and so this is going to go really well over our banana pancakes. We're going to let that go just a bit longer. To this blueberry syrup, we're going to add probably about the zest of half an orange. And this is just going to give it some brightness and a little bit of extra citrus flavor. We're then going to cut it in half and squeeze about half of the juice in here. Again, just bringing a bit of brightness to the blueberries and the sugar. This is actually looking good to go. We're going to set this, cut the heat here, off to the back to be used later. Alright, so our bacon's probably about halfway. Oh, careful not to splash yourself with grease. So what I want to do now is I'm going to add all our onions. So these are going to kind of, that bacon still got a little bit longer until it gets crispy, and so it's going to give our onions some time to kind of get super soft in that bacon fat. So you see that bacon's starting to get nice and crispy. Those onions are getting soft and translucent. It's exactly what we're looking for. The smell is amazing. Cannot go wrong with onions and bacon fat. At this point, we're going to add just a touch of garlic in here. So you can see we've got a good bit of fat from the bacon in the pan. And we're going to want to use that to help brown our potatoes. So the potatoes are completely raw. Some people will blanch them before. This technique, cooked in the hot bacon fat, will allow them to crisp up really nicely. So what we're going to kind of do is let them, put them in one even layer, and then don't touch them for a second. It's going to allow that kind of crust and golden brown to form on the bottom of the potatoes, and then we'll give them a turn, kind of toss them around and cook them until they're tender. So as that's going, we're actually going to start our pancakes. Oh yeah. All right, so to our, we've got a nonstick pan for our pancakes, and I'm just going to kind of get that going to kind of a low-medium heat. And what I'm going to do is I've got a little bit of clarified butter over here. I'm going to add just a touch of clarified butter to the pan, let that warm up, and then I'll kind of give you a look here. So we have our batter is thickened up just a bit, and I've taken one banana, chopped it really fine, and then stirred it in. Looks real nice. Yeah, you can do apples, pears, peaches in the summer, whatever you want. It's a typical, it's just a standard pancake recipe, and then you can add whatever additions you want there. So here we have our potatoes. They've been nice and had a good bit of time on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to toss them. I'm just going to let them continue to cook there. Bacon's crispy, onions are getting nice and caramelized. So we've got our warm clarified butter. I'm going to bring this pan over here just so you can see it. Got a 2-ounce ladle here. Just go straight into the pan. We're going to do one at a time. Oh yeah. We're going to kind of check under our pancake. Oh, she's looking perfect. Just a little bit more time. Oh. All right, oh, here we go. Better. Oh, yeah. That's what we're looking for, right there. We've got our hash here looking nice and crispy. Smells amazing. So at this point, I didn't want to season it because we have all the salt from the cured bacon. And so we're going to season that at the very end once we add the rest of our ingredients. Go ahead and get another pancake working. And we're going to finish our hash. So we're going to add a little bit of chopped jalapenos that have been seeded and de-ribbed. We want the flavor of the jalapeno and a little bit of the heat. We're not trying to burn our mouths here. We're going to add a bit of chopped tomato. This is going to give a good bit of acidity and help cut through all that richness. We're also going to add a little bit of spinach, and this is fresh chopped rosemary. Bringing in some freshness with the herbs. The rosemary, we're just going to cook it until it gets just tender enough to where that hard herb softens up just a bit. Pancake too hot. So our hash looks great. At this point, we're going to season with a bit of kosher salt, some cracked black pepper, got our other pancake going here. All right, we have our hash working, almost done. We've got our pancakes finishing up. Blueberry syrup is waiting until the end. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do this fried egg technique. It's called a quick fried egg. So what we've got is a little bit of canola oil in the pan, typically a little more than you would think you'd need for a fried egg. And what we're going to do, we're going to get it super hot. And then we are going to tilt the pan, drop the egg in, and what's going to happen, the bottom's going to get super crispy. The white is going to encapsulate the yolk and get super fluffy on the outside, and then we're going to have a nice runny yolk on the inside. That's the goal. I have one whole egg that I've cracked into a separate container. We do that just to make sure we don't get any shells in it and also make sure the yolk doesn't break. And then we're just going to drop it in. And we're going to continue to tilt it like this. It's getting crispy on the bottom, and you see that yolk is puffing up, or the white is puffing up around the yolk. We're going to kind of slide it back here, and we're just going to kind of baste that hot grease on the top. It's a very quick process. So, all right, guys. So we've gone through all the steps of our banana pancakes with our orange blueberry sauce. We learned how to make a potato hash with a bit of spinach, rosemary, jalapenos, and some crispy bacon. And then we learned the technique on a kind of a quick fried egg with a runny yolk in the middle. So I've got all of my mise en place again to put it to the plate. And so we are going to do that now. So I've got my 3 pancakes right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and just plate up my hash. Just like that. Got my blueberry orange syrup here. Just gonna go right on top of our pancakes like this. Come back, just a bit of fresh orange zest on the top. A little nub of butter. Maybe a couple extra fresh blueberries here. On top of the hash, we're going to hit it with just a bit of Parmesan cheese. And we're going to take our beautiful egg here, place it right on top, just like so. Done and done. Look at that, and then I'll bust the yolk open. All right. So we have our banana pancakes with the blueberry orange syrup, a little bit of butter and fresh blueberries on top. We have our hash that started with a little bit of bacon, sweet onions, jalapeños, tomatoes, finished with a little bit of rosemary and Parmesan. And we have our crispy fried egg that has a soft yolk, and we're going to show you that now. Bust the yolk, run it all over that. There you go.